Hello everybody in YouTube world. I'm going to be doing a 2023 review of my home gym, just high level. As usual, I'll have the chapters in the description of just the items I'm going to be going over. If you have any questions, please let me know. And without further ado, let's get to it. First item we're going to talk about is the squat rack. I have another video on it, which I will link, that shows a little bit of detail, but I have a lot of stuff on this rack. I have a 4-post instead of a 6-post. The first thing that you see here is the Pritchett Pad. I have a love relationship with this pad. It is just amazing. You get an awesome angle like this. Do anything you can with dumbbells, spider curls. But the best thing is that it has the Landmine here. So this is the Rogue Landmine 2.0. I put it back on my mini feet here just because of the way the bar is in my configuration. This thing is so smooth. And to be honest, I actually don't use it for anything else as far as Landmine stuff besides the Pritchett Pad. I know there's some other programming in there that I can do. I'm going to venture out and do a little bit more on that, but as of right now, that's basically what I use this for. So if you look at my rack here, on the top, I have the 12-inch storage post for weights, but I actually just put them here for my Landmine attachments. Technically, you could probably do pull-ups this way if you'd really like. Nah, I don't do that. But these have been great because they're out of the way. I have my 4-post just because of my space and the way it is. So I love these. This one works really, really well. I probably use this one more than I use this one. And then as I put this up here, this is really easy to kind of move out of the way, but this is a good storage solution for me. As I mentioned earlier in one of my other videos, I do have the Strength Co weights, and I did do a review on those. But what I love about the Strength Co weights is they are all basically the same style. They have this texture finish on here, and in the back, they have the texture finish as well. So I've been using these for a year. And you can see here, they're really not beat up at all. The insides, of course, will get a little bit scratched, but they're weights after all. You should be using them anyways. So I have the 25s here. I have the 45s on the back. And then over here, I have the 5s as well as the 10s there. I don't bolt down my rack, and it's been totally fine just because I have the on-weight storage there. Probably one of the best purchases that I got, and I showed a review of this before, is the Rogue Monolifts 2.0s. These do not come, or these come with the 1-inch deep tip pins here, but I had some as well. But you see this bolt here? This bolt you can actually take out. And what that bolt does is if you have the bolt in, they only swing out about that much. But if you have the bolt out, they can basically swing out as far as you can. This makes it nice because when you go in and you're doing a squat and you want to get a little bit farther out from the actual post, you could be out from here. So your starting point's here versus here, which is nice because then you don't have any problems hitting the uprights, etc. And while these are kind of heavy, I use them all the time. Squats, bench, incline. Sorry if that was a little bit loud there. And then these safety spotter arms right here, which are the safety spotter straps, they are really awesome. They're quiet, and I do like them a lot. And then if you look over here on my rack, I do have my leg rest. I can't remember exactly what it's called now, but when I do this, I do Bulgarian split squats with this for the most part. I use that for Bulgarian split squats. And then these in here, if you kind of just come a little bit closer, these are probably the one thing, if I had to only have one thing in the gym, it would be adjustable dumbbells. You don't necessarily have to get Powerblocks, but these are just really nice, quick to change. So now I am actually on a certain weight, and if I want to change the weights, I just open this here. Put one of the adder weights in here, 1 or 2. Close it, put it in there, put the pin in, and boom, I'm at 30 pounds. Those are probably one of my favorite purchases. This particular thing is pretty sturdy. It's all plastic, but it works really well. And then lastly, you know, my rack here, which I just have on the ground now, are the squat wedges. So these are the 20-degree ones. I use these for Romanian deadlifts, as well as like goblet squats, etc. These are probably the one things that I use quite a bit on leg days, and it really helps with the leg hypertrophy. But these lonely things right down here are the 2-inch J-cups. As I said in one of my other videos, when I got my monolifts, these things have been collecting dust. So I actually haven't used them in a long time, which is kind of funny, right? If you think about it. So that is the basic overview of the rack. We're going to go over here next and just talk about the one bar that I have, because I did sell the rackable curl bar. So here's the bar that I have. This is the Ohio Power Bar. Let's see here. And so this is a stainless steel for the shaft right there. The knurling is really, really nice. And these are the chrome sleeves. So some people don't necessarily like that they're ribbed, right? But I think they're great. They do hold the strength club plates on there really nice. And this bar is going to last a lifetime. I did initially have the Darko anchor that I had up here, and I had my bar up on the top there, but with the air conditioning vent that I have there, it doesn't really work, and I have to move my rack over here. So I got this solution, and this has worked out perfectly for me. Next up in the gym is the good old Matador over here. So this section has been really nice for me because it's out of the way. I can put it up here, and it's really easy to put up and down. I have the strip. Super easy to put up and down. Really nice on the strip. You can put some other things on here, and I like that this is out of the way. You can put it on the rack, as I have another video showing that you can use the Monster Light one on the Monster. It'll move around a little bit like this, but when you're doing it, it's totally fine. But I like that this is out of the way. Kind of put it in there, then we're good. My next piece here is just my Rogue adjustable bench. This is the AB 3.0, I believe. This thing is a beast. I initially didn't get the upgraded wheels on here, so you can see down there. Honestly, they're like a upcharge, and I don't think that they're really needed. The one annoying thing is these end caps right here come off all the time. So it doesn't affect the usability of it. But if you're in the market to get a bench, like a flat bench or an adjustable bench, I would recommend that you get the adjustable bench, because there's just a lot more options with this. This doesn't necessarily go to a decline position, but it's really easy to adjust. Sorry about the noise there, but it adjusts from, I need to look down here, 15 to 85 degrees, or basically upright. And you can do all sorts of things with this. And if you want it to go back down, just lift it up and push it down. Even though this does weigh a lot, it is super, super comfortable. The mat is great. And then the front part adjusts here as well. And if you want to move it around, there is a really nice handle that you could just hold here, lift up, and move it around however it's easier to do. So while it's not the lightest thing, it definitely does work well. And I wouldn't want a flat bench personally. I know a lot of people that do. The next one here that I have is the GHD. And I just did a video on this, on how you could do some exercises. So this one I picked up after I sold my ski erg, actually, because Concept 2, while it makes great stuff for me personally, the ski erg wasn't getting used. This one, it's just been great for hamstrings, glutes, not really quads, But backs, like hyper extensions, etc., I use this quite a bit, and my daughter uses it every now and then as well. And it's really great for sit-ups. Like, it really, really is good. And then I ended up getting these. I haven't used these a whole lot, but this is the 6 and the 12-inch foam plyo box. So I got these a lot for step-ups here. So, you know, step-ups, and I'm right at the top, you can see from my drop ceiling. And then I also got them too for eventually when my daughter starts doing some more plyometric stuff, because she's in athletics like I used to be. So these are just really, really nice. You could also use these for hip hinges if you want, because I know a lot of people would do that. And this is at like a perfect height for a hip hinge, if that is your thing. But for me, I don't really like doing the setup like that. So this has been a really, really nice addition. So here's my deadlift setup. I haven't done as much deadlifting in the past couple months than I did earlier in the year when I was doing Evolve AI, because I'm doing more of a bodybuilding type of workout. I ended up getting these tiles really, really cheap on Facebook Marketplace earlier this year. And I figured since I got the tiles for cheap, I might as well buy the frame. I do have like one of my first videos on that in the back. Is it worth it? I probably need to do an update on this. Here are the Strength Go 45s that I just leave 2 on there all the time, because it's just, you know, I don't have a deadlift jack besides those also OSO blocks there. But this deadlift platform is awesome. It is really expensive. So if you don't have the tiles or a way to get the tiles, or, you know, you don't want to put anything in there, I don't know if I would necessarily do this way. I'd probably just end up making my own if you want to go and save some money. I haven't done really any reviews on this, but this is probably one of my favorite pieces here, is the blue Cerakote, I think that's how you say it, Texas Deadlift Bar. This is one of my favorite bars. It is the greatest of all time, in my opinion, for deadlift bars by far. The knurling is right on point. It is not too aggressive, but it's not less aggressive, even with the Cerakote. So this is just awesome. It's got longer sleeves as well, and the bar is a little bit longer too. So even though I'm only deadlifting, I think max at this point, like 400, I do get a little bit of whip out of it. It's probably like overkill for a lot of people, but the diameter of the bar as well is really, really nice. So that is the deadlift station that I have. So this is like the accessories section. I've actually had this organizer for a long time now. So I just put the bands on there. I do use the bands for some warm-up stuff, for some mobility type of stuff. Personally, if it was me, I would get the ones with the straps. I talked about this in one of the videos on like essentials to get for your gym that are actually relatively cheap. I do have a couple different belts. I have the lever belt here, which is a Pioneer belt. I really like this as well because it's just nice on and off when you're actually doing squats, etc. So you could have it in more of a relaxed position, put it on and have it in a tight position, of course, right? But the one downside of this, it's heavy. So if you do any type of traveling, you want to bring your belt, I just don't think that's probably a good option. This is the reason why I ended up getting the Pioneer belt from Rogue Fitness, because this one is super light, really good quality, and I love like the colorway. I know it's a stupid thing, but works great. And then, you know, I just have all sorts of bands, belts. Here is the dip belt that I've had for ages. I don't think even Rogue makes this anymore. And I put my 20-pound vest weight on there because it works really well. So those are the bands. Those are those. And then the other, I just have one of these 14-pound medicine balls. I'll do like a couple of different movements with it, you know, use it for sit-ups, etc. This is probably one of my least used items, but you know, it's gonna last and I'll use it over time. So I think that's pretty much it for like the accessories that I have. So yeah, I've had this bike for about 2 years now. This is the Tax Neo bike. I just replaced the seat on it with one of the Specialized seats because I do tend to ride my bike quite a lot on Zwift. I'll show that in a future video. Basically, it's a virtual cycling platform. This is what I use for the majority of my cardio. While it looks like it's overkill, it probably is for an indoor setup, but to be honest, this thing has been rock solid. It's got a couple fans up here. I have my fans down here as well, which is not a big deal. But when you're doing indoor cycling, you want something that's really low maintenance, that is going to work really, really well. I have really enjoyed this, and for some reason, if it broke or something else, I know Garmin would help me out, and I would probably have to buy another one at some point anyways. So if you do any type of indoor cycling, let me know, because I have quite a bit of experience with this. You don't necessarily have to do high end. You can do the kick or snap or a couple other things. And there are some really cool apps that you can use for indoor cycling if that's your thing, or if that's just what you want to do for cardio. Now we're in the laundry room. So on my rack, you saw that I'm like really, really close to the ceiling. Well, I am basically touching the ceiling. I've had the jammer for a while. I replaced the bar, which is on my squat rack over there, with this blue one here, which is the blue Cerakote. I like the bar. The one negative is the knurling doesn't go all the way across. I wish at least went to like where the rogue was at. So the knurling stops here. So we're probably looking about 6 inches or so. That it would be nice to have it on both sides, right? Talked about one of my videos. Rings are really great investment. They're very versatile. I have these old ones from my dad a long time ago, way back. And then I ended up getting the straps for it. My daughter just likes to jump around on it like a jungle gym. Okay, that works. And you know, if you don't know how to do pull-ups, a really good strap is really great for assistance. You put your knee inside of it and get some assistance there. So the jammer bar is great if you have this set up. I ended up putting this up here myself, and it was a real pain, but since it's here, it ain't going anywhere. So that's it. Next up is the Inspire FTX. This was on sale for $9.99 at Costco. They have rebranded to Center 2, I believe, FTX. So it's the same build, the same company. They just got bought out, so they rebranded some stuff with Chris Helmsworth, I think. But this has been well worth it. And as I said in my last video, the reason why I sold my rackable curl bar was because of this. I'm going to do a full review on this probably early in 2024. But if I could have one or two things in my gym, this would be one of them. Like, I'm not kidding. Like this, even the pull-up bar's short, and it is short because of my height. The functionality is great. I bought some extra attachments, which I'll show, which I have a video up there. But these, I haven't done really anything on this. This is the gym pins. So you could actually load plates on here. So here's a 1.5 plate. You could load any plate on there to increase the weight, because as you remember, I did say the stacks are, 160 pounds, and they can go from 2 to 1 ratio. So there's 80 pounds on each side. So that's the one thing, like if you were going to do a lot on lat pull downs, it's not really the most that for a lot of people. So those gym pins actually work out really well. I did end up getting 2 different attachments outside of that are, this one is the pull down bar or the curl bar by Rep Fitness. This is great. The knurling is actually a little bit more aggressive than I thought it was going to be, but I like this a lot. The other one I got is from Inspire Fitness Direct, which is on the Costco website. I think it was like 30 bucks. I wanted to use a bar that's straight for lat pull downs versus the supplied bar that has like the angles. I just find it a little bit easier to hold on to, and it's not as squirrely, I guess is the best word. But those two attachments I got for that, as well as, you know, of course, the Rogue Fitness one I talked about. And then these things are awesome. These are the foot ankle straps that have the different attachments points here. So they have 4 or 5 attachment points around the ankle. So you can do glute kickbacks, side raises, back raises, etc. with your legs. These things are like 60 bucks, but they are beastly. And I love how the strap is underneath. They don't move at all. If you do anything like that, like any type of glute movement or hips, etc., where you're working on some rehab stuff, these things are probably the best buy out of the lot that I think there. And I'm not just saying it just because I like Rogue stuff. I literally think so. I'm not trying to tell anybody to buy anything just to buy anything. So that is the Inspire FTX. So that's it. That is my home gym that I funded with some of my mountain bike selling, and can't think of anything else that you want to know. All I know is it's been a great transition from cycling all the time to cutting down the cycling and doing some lifting. I'm going to be doing a progress video as well, just to show you the gains that I've had as I went through the year and just what that looks like. So thanks for joining me today. If there's any questions at all, please let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you all. Have a great New Year's Eve, and enjoy the rest of this year. Please subscribe if you haven't, and give my video a like as well. Have a good one.